Good evening. We welcome you to season 3 of your favorite talk show, Stephen Korean Perspectives. I'm Stephen Alexander.
And I'm your host, Corinne Harris.
In today's episode, we have a very special guest from our campus here to talk about her involvement on campus, the importance of education, and much more.
In today's topic, Stephen and I will discuss a university sending acceptance letters via Instagram. We will also discuss the latest Jeffrey Owens story.
So kick back and relax. You're in for a great show. It's SKP time.
Welcome back. Remember getting that college acceptance letter in the mail? Now there's a new way, digital way to let you know you've been accepted to UW Green Bay. It's happening on a social media platform, Instagram. Gabrielle Mays reports.
Walk around UW Green Bay's campus and you'll likely see students on their cell phones.
I like texting. Yeah.
Okay. How often would you say you text? Throughout the day?
A lot.
Basically, whenever I'm not in class, it's just a habit now to just go on Instagram or Snapchat or something.
It's no secret teens use smartphones often, and UWGB plans to increase engagement with prospective students. A couple of years ago, the university used social media app Snapchat to let students know they've been admitted. This time around, the university will use Instagram.
They'll double check, okay, yes, the student has for sure been accepted, and then they will receive an Instagram message, more or less.
As for current students, most say they like the idea.
I think it's kind of cool. I'm definitely on Instagram a lot more than I check the mail or my email or anything.
I think it's a cool way to find out that you're accepted because a lot of people use Instagram.
I think it's kind of cool, but I like to get in the mail because then you can take a picture with it and then post it on Instagram, you know?
Now, students have to provide their Instagram account name ahead of time.
They're going to be able to share that moment with their friends. And I think it's going to really enhance that emotional acceptance moment and make it really fun for them.
Out of all 4 of UWGB's campuses, so far 30 students have asked for an admission notification through their Instagram accounts.
Started. The school will still use email and the U.S. Postal Service to send acceptance letters to students. So, Stephen, do you agree with sending letters via Instagram?
Acceptance letters, no, because here's why. This is why I feel like this. Because if I'm going to my favorite school, which is Austin Peay, I love Austin Peay, so I don't want to get an acceptance letter through my Instagram account. I think that's a little personal. I don't need a DM of getting accepted into a college. I want a visual, I want a hard copy sent to me, postal service.
See,
you get what I'm saying?
You would still get a postal service letter though.
Okay.
Yeah, you would still get a letter.
Okay, well, I just want the letter. That's it. I don't need it in my DMs or anything like that, or a Facebook message that says, hey, you're gonna get this letter sent to you through your DM. I don't want that. I don't. What about you? What do you think?
In a way, I think it's a good idea.
Why?
Because, if I'm applying for this college of my choice, and when they're going through my transcript and everything, and they say, you've been accepted, I want to know right there and then. It's almost like you're going into the store, you don't want to order it, you want it right there and then. So I would definitely love to see that message pop up on my Instagram and say, hey, you've been accepted. But then again, we have recently been hacked by social media accounts. So it's almost like,
you don't know.
I don't want to receive it through my social media, because it's almost like with the UW Green Bay, you would give them permission and give them your username to send to your Instagram, but all of a sudden we was hacked just like that.
Yeah.
So I can give them my username. Next thing you know, this other person has my information.
This made me think too, are they doing this because they want to match a face and personality with whoever's receiving the letter, so because a lot of people, when you go to college, of course they have your photo on file, but it's good to see a backup page. So is it more than just sending it through the DMs? Are you trying to see what this person is, what they do on their daily basis? That's how I'm taking it. You get what I'm saying?
I definitely agree with what you're saying, because you do have a good point. And then you look into the points, think about some people, they have stuff coming in their mail, but their mail get lost.
Yeah.
So then Instagram.
No, that is true. It's like a backup plan.
Because I have got mail that had gotten lost. And they're like, well, we sent you your letter.
I didn't get it.
Nowadays people have their phones.
Right.
So that's the way people stay connected, is through social media.
And then another thing, a part of me is okay, well, I don't receive my electrical bill through my social media account, through my DMs or my Facebook Messenger. So why would I want to get an acceptance letter through that? That's just, I thought about that too.
This is exciting news. So, I think, receiving this through the mail, well, Instagram would be good. My electrical bill, I don't want to see that come through my Instagram or social media. But you do have a good point. I say it's pros and cons to it. Because you think about people getting hacked on their social media accounts, or what if someone catfishing me? It could be anything. Someone can always take my username. Yes, I'm giving you this information, but anything can happen within a day, or within hours.
Because we know, like you said, we fall victims to that, unfortunately.
But hey, SKP are fighters.
Right,
So
and we'll get through it. Well, it looks like let's go to the next topic. Okay, so Jeffrey Owens, who many of us remember as Elvin from The Cosby Show, has joined the cast of NCIS New Orleans. This is the second role for Owens since the Trader Joe's incident. He recently picked up a recurring role on Tyler Perry's own series, The Have and the Have-Nots. Take a look at the clip.
The Cosby Show ended 26 years ago. And in the past 26 years, I have hardly ever had an acting job that lasted more than 10 weeks. And most of those jobs were theater jobs, which pay a lot less than television and film. So basically, for the last 26 years, I haven't had steady employment. The article was negative. The article was from a kind of a shaming slant, like, oh, look at him now, isn't that sad? Under the guise of kind of, oh, I felt bad for him, but it was really kind of like, isn't this interesting how the, mighty television star is now just bagging groceries at a grocery store. So that was the initial thing, and that stung. That was definitely hurtful, especially, the picture they chose to use and stuff like that. It seems like they kind of went out of their way to use like the very worst images.
So Corinne, some people believe he was job shamed on social media. What do you think of this whole incident?
Well, I wouldn't say he was job shamed by the original message, but some people have took it that way. I look at it as the person who posted the original post looked at it the way trying to help him. Now, nothing's wrong working with Trader Joe's, but I just feel like he grew from that. Just like when I was 16, I was working at a fast food restaurant. And then you get to that point where you grow from those places, and whoever posted the original message, they look at it as, why is he working at Trader Joe's?
Yeah.
He has grown from working at places like that. So he should be doing some acting because that's what he's good at.
Well, a lot of people don't realize, like in the acting world, in the scripted world, it's hard to get a job in, acting, because like you might have this great job like he did at one point, and then you try to sign up and audition for different jobs, and sometimes you don't get hired just like that. So what do? You have bills to pay, you got things to do, you have to take care of yourself, so he has to have a job. I just took it as like, I don't know. I think it maybe brought more attention to him in a positive way in some instance, but also too, I feel like it could be negatively too, because some of the comments people made like, oh, he's working at a Trader Joe, It's like, yeah, surprising that he's working there, but it's like, give the man his props for having a job.
He had to do what he had to do in order to survive. And that's what people have to understand. It's almost like with us, we're starting out, we'll be graduating soon.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get a job in our field just like that, even though we should have it, but hey, we gotta do what we gotta do.
And then that's another thing too that made me think about, he works so hard, and these people are giving him the opportunity. He's on, what's it, NCIS, and Tyler Perry's opening up a door for him. I feel like they are doing it to help him out. And I'm thinking about other people in the future, like, are they gonna be doing it to help him out, or are they only doing it because they feel sorry for him? Because, that was 26 years ago, The Cosby Show, when it first aired, and he was on like through season 1 through 8. So my thing is, we really haven't seen him in the spotlight since then much. Or is he only being in the spotlight now because he was highlighted from working at a Trader Joe's? You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Or people just calling him now because they feel sorry for him? What do you think about that?
I hope they're doing it out the kindness of their heart. Now I can speak from Tyler Perry's behalf. I know he has helped people in the past, and he know Jeffrey Owens, how he's a good actor. So I do feel like, it was really helpful.
Yeah, well, if Tyler Perry is watching this today, Tyler, can you help us? get a job. We're looking for a job when we got here. If you're watching, I don't want to, interrupt you because you're a busy guy. But if you are watching, please keep us in your thoughts and
Or
prayers.
anyone who knows Tyler Perry,
Right.
send him the link because
Send him
this
the
show
link.
will be posted
Let's send
on
it to him
YouTube.
today.
Yeah, we should do that
After we
because
get done.
we'll have time.
Yeah, we have to send him a link.
Well, we must take a commercial break, but coming up, we will reveal our special guest, and trust me, you don't want to miss this. Stay tuned. You're watching SKP.
You can help support Austin Peay students who don't have enough to eat by donating to the Save Our Students Food Pantry. The Save Our Students Food Pantry is looking for soup, pasta, canned meat, canned beans, peanut butter, and fruit. You can drop off your donations at the food pantry on Home Avenue. It's open Tuesdays through Friday, 8:30 until 4. For more information, call 221-1620, a campus reminder from Austin Peay.
Every year, we lose 400 people to carbon monoxide poisoning. 170 of these incidents are from non-automotive consumer products.
Poisoning can help to be prevented by installing a CO device in your home, having your appliances serviced by a qualified technician, even having your mechanic regularly touch up on your exhaust systems. Never have your vehicle running in a garage that is connected to a home, or have the garage door closed.
I'm from Clarksville, Tennessee.
Fort Knox, Kentucky.
Jackson, Tennessee.
Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Little Rock, Arkansas.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Gaffney, South Carolina.
Seattle, Washington.
Jeremy, Haiti.
I'm from Três Pontas, Brazil.
Chicago, Illinois.
Hawaii.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Brazelton, Georgia.
From Modesto, California. I want to be a neonatal nurse.
An athletic trainer and accountant.
Playing the NFL.
An interior designer. Physical therapist.
Law enforcement officer.
Ultrasound technician. Social worker.
Physician.
Politician.
Psychologist.
CPA.
Your social worker.
Nurse practitioner.
Physical therapist.
Restaurant owner.
A politician. Start my own business.
Veterinary.
Elementary school teacher.
The NBA player.
Cardiovascular surgeon.
Anesthesiologist.
A businesswoman in Nashville.
Social worker in Miami, Florida.
Politician in Washington, D.C.
Colorado.
Orlando, Florida. Houston, Texas.
In Chattanooga.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Seattle, Washington.
Nashville, Tennessee. San Diego, California.
Nashville, Tennessee.
New York City, New York.
San Diego, California.
Atlanta, Georgia. Nashville.
Los Angeles, California.
New York, New York.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Orlando, Florida. Los Angeles, California.
Baltimore, Maryland. Clarksville, Tennessee.
Carolina Beach, Carolina.
Philadelphia.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Clarksville, Tennessee.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Stephen Alexander, along with my co-host, Korean Harris. Our guest today is very interactive with APSU campus. Some may arguably say she is the queen of APSU. She is also known for being our 10th president here at APSU. Who exactly is the person we're talking about? It's our university president, Dr. Alisa White.
Hi, Stephen. Hi,
Hello.
Korean.
How are
Thank you for
you?
coming today.
Happy to be here.
So, President White, Thanks for coming to the show today.
Sure.
We want to know, what exactly do you do on this campus? Like, do you get to wake up out the bed and just relax, watch a little TV, and watch us going back and forth to class? What do you get to do?
That's about it.
That's about it?
Yeah. I get up about 5:20 and I start reading newspapers and look at what's going on in higher education across the country. And then I work with a team of leaders who have responsibilities for various aspects of campus. So we have an academic leader, we have a student affairs leader, we have a business leader, we have a public relations, marketing, external affairs leader, and general counsel and auditor. And so I think about their work and how I can help them be successful. And probably the primary thing I do is try to make sure I've got the right people doing the right things on campus and then provide them as much support as possible.
Yeah, that's very important because you got to make sure you have the right people
That's right.
in the right places at time.
Right.
So how did you know APSU was the right place for you?
Oh, wow. I lectured this morning at 8 o'clock, met an 8 o'clock class this morning, and I was asked something similar. And I was really happy at my last institution. I was the vice president for academic affairs. And I wasn't looking at the ads. I hadn't applied anywhere, and I got a call from a search firm and was asked if I would accept a nomination to be in the pool to be considered here. And I said, I really don't want to leave a place I love as a vice president to go to a place I don't love as much as a president, but I'll look at it. And as it turned out, my president there at that institution had nominated me for the job. And so I started investigating and started talking to people. And when I met the people who were on the search committee, many of whom were faculty and staff here, as well as leaders in the state, I understood better the culture and knew it was a culture that I wanted to join. And that's when I knew if I could get this job, I was all in.
Well, I can truly say we're happy to have you as our 10th president
and
here.
Thank you.
What's so great about you is, too, you have this connection with all students. When people see you, they feel comfortable enough to come and approach you and say, good morning, good evening. So I think that's really nice.
And she's making some great changes to the school, which is very impressive.
Yeah.
Like, I love the idea with the bicycles, and I was actually happy that got approved.
And like, you remember when she came to talk, we came to your office to talk to you, and she was so open and willing to talk to us.
Yes, and giving us great advice. So we know that you have experience in broadcast journalism. What made you become a broadcast journalism major?
Well, my family and I bought a radio station in the early 80s, and that's really how I got started in broadcasting. And I'm actually gonna commit the worst sin and go back to a previous question. I just want to make sure that I give credit to the Student Government Association for the B-Cycle program. All I did was go, oh wow, great job. And so they did that, and I was really proud of their work. But I got involved in broadcasting through radio, and then decided to get a PhD in mass communication. And I've done a lot of work in radio. I did cable for a year just as an advisor, but I was the campus advisor to the public radio station at West Georgia when I was there. I taught audio production for many years, radio, TV, news writing. And then I joined an advertising agency on a part-time basis and kind of morphed into ad PR in the mid-90s.
So what do those things teach you, working with that different background? What do those things teach you? How did it help you become a better person, as far as broadcast journalism?
I would say that what I learned is how important content is. We're a society where we want to know about the world around us. And if you're in broadcast journalism, your job is to make sure that you can get information that you can give to your stakeholders, that audience that trusts you. You've got people who are regular followers of your program because they like your style, or they like the topics, or they have some sort of virtual relationship with you, but they follow you. And I have my favorite newscasters, my favorite writers in the newspaper and news magazine industry too. So I think what I learned is that it's really important to have the right content.
I agree. So there's our students out here watching who happen to be broadcast journalism majors. What advice would you give to students who want to seek this profession?
You really have to be good to get a job in this field, and it's a wonderful field, and it's one of significance. So one, make sure that you do have content. Learn about the world, learn about politics and sociology and psychology, and really understand history, and really get who you are in a global environment. So I think that's really important. And then accept criticism.
And what do you mean by that?
So, I taught broadcasting for a long time, and I think the only way to get better is to take videos of yourself, or if it's a radio show, listen to the radio show and say, okay, could I have done that better? Is my approach right? Did I rush? I'm a fast talker, but I shouldn't do that when I'm on the air. So can I slow down a little bit? So accept criticism on how can I be better than I am? And that's just not for broadcast students. In my job, I have a lot of people around me daily who say, that makes sense, but you could be better if you did this, or could we look at this and figure out a way to be more excellent? So I think that's really a lesson for all of us, regardless of our fields.
Now, is there any advice that you can give to students who have a hard time accepting criticism right now?
Yeah.
I've got great advice. Grow up.
That's true.
That's true.
And when you say grow up, you mean like get out of your head? Like don't take it personal? Is that what you mean by that?
Yes, because if you really can't accept feedback or criticism, constructive criticism, you'll never really get better. Now, there are haters out there who are never going to like anything you do. And if you've got someone who's giving you feedback and it's not constructive, or you know that person's not trying to help you get better, discount those people. Some voices I don't really pay much attention to because I don't respect the opinion. But if it's someone I know has the right attitude about trying to help us get better, I'm going to pay attention.
Okay. So you have served as a consultant for city government and Fortune 500 companies, offering workshop on leadership, conflict negotiation and creative management skills. So how has some of these things you've done helped, with the university?
I hope I practice what I preach. And so when I've worked with city governments, most of my work there has been dealing with the media, so media relations, which means you have to have a relationship with the people who are covering you, so that if they hear something about you, they'll give you a chance to answer and not just follow a story or a report without giving you an opportunity to give input. Some of it, though, on the conflict negotiations specifically, is the best way to negotiate a conflict is to do so where you really don't have winners and losers. You want to try to find a solution that benefits a lot of people without other people losing face or respect. And so I try to bring those principles in what I do now and make sure that even in disagreements, we can come out on the other side without saying, okay, I won this one, because it's really not about power.
Right. Well, we must take a quick commercial break, but we'll return with more of SKP and with Dr. White.
Back. I'm your host, Corinne Harris, alongside with my co-host, Stephen Alexander. We're back in the studio with our very own president, Miss Alisa White. So what would you say is the hardest part pertaining to journalism that you have personally experienced?
Deadlines. Just deadlines. There's not enough time in the day to get a real in-depth story and then get it produced and on the air. And so it's something that I see in journalism as a trend, really, but there's not as much investigation going on just because people don't have much time.
So how do you, when you have deadlines, as we know about those too, how do you get the job done right? Even though you have a deadline, you have to find out this information in journalism, but you don't want to send the wrong information. So how do you get the right information?
Hopefully you've got the budget where you've got somebody who spends some time on background so that by the time you get through a story, you really have the right story. Unfortunately, that's not easy now because you're going to get scooped by someone who puts it out there, maybe even without having the facts. And I'm not even certain that I'm the best person to answer that because I've been out of it for a while, and the pressures facing the industry today are worse than they were when I was in it. So I wish I had a great answer, but I really don't.
No, but I still say that's still a good point to some of us who are going into that career field now because it's deadline. Some of us think it's hard now when the teachers say you have this assignment that's due like in a week or two, but hey, when we're in this field, deadline. And that's some of the stuff we don't think about.
Exactly, and me and you both know about that. Actually, because working at an internship, you know, it's like they have deadlines. You know, you can't just.
That's that day, really, that you have to have a story read about 5 or 6.
That's right, and it's no repercussion. You have to, like today, right now.
That's right.
So our next question is, for students who are building a resume, all students, how can they build the best resume possible, especially for us broadcast journalism majors? What do we need on our resume?
I would show the breadth of your work. So for you, if I just used you guys as an example, obviously you've got interviewing skills, but do you also have investigative reporting skills? Do you have skills where you are working live or maybe a taped show? Are you doing any kind of writing, or can you do anything with social media where you take your broadcast content and you repackage that on social media? Can you tie a print with broadcasting and of course it may not even be broadcasting, it might just be digital content. So show as much range as you can, and then also make sure that you identify on your resume piece what you did. Were you the producer? Were you technical director? Did you write? You know, what was your role? Because it takes, there's a lot of people in here helping with this show today. So what was your role in the show, in preparing it? How did you plan it? So that the person who's evaluating your work knows exactly what you did. And then make sure that somebody else looks at that resume. Don't ever turn in a class project, because it's not the same as being really on-air quality in a commercial station. So you want to take your work and get it better, re-edit, and make sure that it's as perfect as it can be, and then send it off.
So what degree requirements should you have if you want a job in journalism? Should you seek getting a master's if you have a bachelor's degree?
You know, it depends on what your background is. If you have, let's say that you have a background in political science or something else, that's not a master's, or if you don't have a mass comm degree, you may want some background work in just communication. And if that's the case, I think the master's is the way to go. But maybe you have a mass comm degree, but you want to focus on sports journalism or maybe science reporting, then you may need an additional background in content itself. And so I love education, and I would love to have people continue to grow in education. But I wouldn't just go to go. I would say, where is my gap? How can I fill that gap and be better? And what would give me a competitive edge?
Which probably would, in case, be that master's, or it could be the doctorate. So it's getting broken down into exactly what do you want to do.
Yeah.
Because if you just want to be a reporter, if I'm not mistaken, you just need a bachelor's degree.
Right.
But if you want to probably be an executive producer, you probably need a master's degree, or probably just depending on what news station you're at.
It really depends on what you can do. So the degree by itself, without the work to back it up, is not going to get you very far. But the degree often will get you in the door. Then when they evaluate you, they're going to evaluate you on what you actually do.
And that's why the resume and the reels are important, because
critically,
you might not need that master's degree if you have a BS degree and you have backup that shows, you know, what you have done over your college career.
Right.
Okay, well, President White, we have to end the show. We thank you so much for coming. We truly do. You were a great guest. You have to come back. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it.
Yes, yes. So for our viewers, thank you for tuning in to SKP today. Stay tuned with us for next week's episode. Remember to follow us on our social media. I would say that, but we've been hacked. We're trying to get that stuff kind of situated. So once we get that stuff situated, we'll let you guys know the new social media platform that we have.
Exactly. But SKP are fighters, so we will have new accounts.
That's right. That's right.
We will see you next Thursday with more news and entertainment. So remember to tune in on Thursdays at 3:00 p.m. to catch us live on CDE Channel 9, Spectrum 192, and Uverse 99 in Middle Tennessee. If you cannot catch us live, you can watch the episode on YouTube under APSU-TV/SKP.
Yes, and lastly, we want to send out a special thank you to Mr. and Dr. Eddie and Tracy Nichols for their hard work in renovating this studio. We must go now, unfortunately, but always remember to, let's go Peay.